Hey, what's going on, guys? Jetxc, and in the background there, you should see the trailer for the Nebris and venaka trailer that ran a couple days ago. This patch is going to be pretty solid, right? And it's going to be somewhat of I wouldn't call it a filler patch, but like a mini patch before the big patch on the 17th, right? Um, so yeah, we're gonna be getting Office Hire Nebris, and we're gonna be getting the new venaka skin, and I think a lot of people are satisfied with the skill cutscenes. I know I am. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments of each one. But yeah, so I would say the update really isn't too crazy. They're doing a rerun of the firework of the firework event, which happened last year. So that's being rerun along with Eon, the Fiend Hunt boss. That's being rerun as well. And then we've got like the typical stuff for every event, right? Every season event. Now, what's new is the guild rate improvement. So they mentioned one, there's going to be a guild rate member sorting feature where essentially you can sort by login or contribution score. There's a combat record display feature where you can essentially look at the ranking tab for who has like the most or the biggest combat record, right? Um, then there will be a post battle boss level display improvement, which is actually a nice thing for those of you that don't know. Whenever you look at the boss level displayed, it would always previously show level 1. And I've made this mistake. I'll beat like level 8, and then the next day it'll show level 1, and I do it, and I'm like, wait, this is level 1, and it doesn't leave off where you last left off. So now it will this time. So that's a nice little thing that they added. So we have expansion of skill help and tooltip application. So they're expanding on the tooltips for monster skills and things like that. Awesome. Additional info. It looks like season 35 ends 2 days early after December 5th maintenance. Okay, fair enough. I don't think a lot of people are going to complain, honestly. And now we have new hire Nebris. So, the thing that you guys got to understand about Nebris is it's really good for her to have all 3 of her costumes, because she feeds off of every buff from her costumes, right? So, if we read here, it's we've got a 6 tile range here. Attack the enemy 3 times. Each attack deals physical damage based on 40% of the attack of your attack. Simultaneously, the damage is increased by 15% of your attack for each buff, right? Then at +1, you get the skill SP to 3. 7 turns is the cooldown. At +5, it turns from 70% to 25%. So it's looking like a 15% increase in damage, which, you know, isn't the biggest increase. So for those of you, I'll already tell you, just get +1 if you don't have the other costumes, especially. You can increase your damage by 10%, and then the cooldown goes from 7 to 5. For each buff you have, the additional damage increases by 5%. So it'll be 80%, 30%, and then cooldown to 5 turns instead of 7. So like I said, Nebris is pretty busted, guys. I highly suggest if you do have all the costumes, hopefully you'd be interested in going +5, but I can always understand going +1, especially with the update. Me personally, I'm probably going to go +5 on her. But yeah, like I said, she is a character that feeds off of her buffs from her other costumes. So if you don't have her other costumes, then try and get +1. And the reason I always say that is because you get the SP reduction, and that's always nice to have no matter what, right? And yeah, so we've got her weaponry running too as well. Okay, and now we have the Wind Dancer venaka. All right, the Wind Dancer venaka looks pretty good. I will say the one thing I noticed here, her feet look a little weird here. I don't know if this was like a rough sketch, but I think they just got this directly from Browndust2. I don't know. I'm not one to like complain too much, but that was like very noticeable right here, and I couldn't unnotice it. But yeah, she looks great. I like her skill cutscene. So she's going to be pretty fun. She's got a, oh my god, she's got a 3x3 range here. Increase the enemy's damage taken by wind property attacks by 75% for 4 turns. Deal magic damage to the enemy based on 200% of your attack. At +1, of course, you get the SP reduction. At +5, it goes from 200% to 125%, and then the deal damage based on 200 goes to 350%. So pretty good, solid numbers. And then over here, you can increase that damage by 50%, so making it 400%. And then when property damage goes up to 150%. So if you're going up against the water boss, just imagine this. You have Diana, and then you have Venaka, right? Both of them combined, so you get when property damage basically increased by 125%. Then you get property damage if you have Adventurer Diana, also increased by around 120%. So your win units will be destroying any water bosses that you encounter, which we will be encountering this Fiend Hunt. So this is pretty big. I would say, I mean, you guys know what I'm going to say. +1 as always. But I will say, though, for Venaka, for her DJ Venaka, if you did get her +5, I also suggest getting this +5. You might as well, because the advantage you get is pretty huge. And any skill with the 3x3, even though it's not hitting as hard as like a Loen or, you know, like a, well, I'm blanking her name, or Leatrice, Mate Leatrice, it's still pretty solid damage, right? 400% if you get the potential. But yeah, that's about it, guys. There's her weapon here. We've got the rerun for Diana. We've got the costume for Ro. So you're going to get this costume +5 regardless. Just make sure you log in. Increase crit rate by 30% for 1 turn and deal physical damage to the enemy based off 500% of your attack. So pretty self-explanatory. This is a big kind of damage dealing costume here, so don't really need to explain that at all because you get her for free. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you think. I think I will do my should you pull videos a little bit different. I might just test the characters in game for you guys and just kind of talk about like, hey, is it worth it? But you know, we'll see. But yeah, that's the patch notes. I'm out. Later.